Hello, my name is Thomas Darno, and I'm a participant in the Year 5 Art 21 Educators Program. I am a teacher at Boyertown Area Senior High School right outside of Philadelphia, and this video will be my final narrative after a year of Art 21. My goal this year was to build stronger communities, so we're going to first look at how we build a stronger community within our classrooms. And here's Mr. Frunze to explain how we use TASK.
Well, this is my now 5th time doing TASK. I did it first in New York with Mr. Darno and Art 21, and we really thought it had a lot of good implications for here at Boyertown, so that's why we're doing it with you guys today.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Are you enjoying TASK?
Most definitely.
No, I'm taking a video. Melissa, how do you feel about TASK so far?
I like it. It's fun.
That's good. Fun stuff. Okay. Okay, how do you feel about TASK so far?
I think it's awesome. This is like so fun. I love stuff like this.
Using Oliver Herring's TASK party was just one way of me addressing how to build a stronger community within our school. The students got to know each other better, they had a great time, they were very excited for class, and they got to feel a little bit more free and open, which became much more easier for critiques later on in the year. I tried to design projects that allowed the students to share who they were. In this value study project, students made portraits using a multitude of mediums to help explain the personality of their subject matter. In this case, a German exchange student did a picture of her brother using text. I also had a student design a portrait of her brother using guitar strings and sheet music. This is a portrait made completely of makeup. This year, Dominic and I adapted a still life project and an identity project by allowing students to photograph objects that they'd earned throughout their lives, from prayer bowls to trophies that they won, to books that were handed down throughout their family, to jewelry that was passed on to them by loved ones. We spent a lot of time looking at contemporary artists and talking about how to reach an audience. Here we use board games and try to equate them to life situations. Here a student relates the game Kerplunk to having her knees worked on and the randomness of the healthcare system. Mancala, a game of chance, was used to describe the anxiety of a volunteer fireman when they go to a fire and have to open a door of a situation they don't understand yet. In our intermediate drawing class, we had students take expressive self-portrait photographs and then try to explain to the audience what the emotion was by using symbolism. This is a tearful tribute to her grandmother. In this sample, my student used smoke and a Christian symbol to express her questioning of her faith. In some cases, some students use universal symbols to discuss their meaning, and in other cases, they try to keep it more personal by using images that maybe only family members or people close to them would understand. In advanced drawing, I had my students pick random objects from a jar, and then they had to create compositions to explain to the audience why they picked those random objects. This year, we stressed the idea that every single project was an opportunity for our students to apply meaning and have a point and a purpose to what they're doing. We borrowed the idea of power from Joe and turned it into our end-of-course assessment. We had the students illustrate in drawing what power meant to them. Students had to consider 4 things. 1, what was their definition of power? 2, who holds the power? 3, what do they have power over? And 4, what is the effect of that power? It could be the power of reading and imagination, the power of patriotism in a soldier after 9/11, the power of God, the power of technology and social media. In this example, a fan named Mary Fowler was dying of cancer and got to meet the lead singer of her favorite band through Twitter. Here, a student thinks that people are imprisoned by technology. Students were encouraged to use elements of design to help prove their point. For this project, students had to pick a person that they wanted to send a direct message to, and they had to choose a medium to help them send that message. In this case, a student used lip gloss to tell someone they had a nice smile. And this was a thank you message to a swim coach. Dom and I felt the need to start building a sense of community within our department. We wanted our students to consider themselves as art students and not just students that took art classes. We came up with several ways of helping strengthen our community, from designing art department t-shirts made up of designs of hundreds of students, to redesigning the wallpaper going down the hallway showing photographs of all the different art students, to community murals within our department, to even hosting a sleepover in which we spent the night with 20 different students and held studio sessions from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. We also want to try to strengthen our ties to the local community, the local colleges, the local galleries, and local businesses. And we did several events over the course of the year to help do that. This year I did a community installation at a local coffee shop where students had to create symbols based on Trent Dole Hancock's truths to define their role within the community, and then the students cut out those pieces and then worked collaboratively to install them at the coffee shop, which remained for about 6 months. In the winter, we worked with local businesses to design murals to hang on their windows based on the Love Letters to Philadelphia tour, and this one was called the Letters to Santa tour. Mr. Frunze and I went to Kutztown University to speak to upcoming teachers about Art 21 and using contemporary art in our classrooms. Those student teachers then came back to our school and taught lessons for an entire day. We were also invited to the local gallery to hold evening discussions with our students about Art 21 and contemporary artists. In this video, we're watching and discussing Jeff Koons. So did Art 21 have an actual impact on our students? I think that answer is pretty obvious, but I do have a couple examples to kind of illustrate the point. This is the program that our students created for our Arts Expo in the spring, in which Mr. Frunze and I battled each other using contemporary art methods. I'd like to conclude by reading a letter that I received from a graduating senior just this morning. Mr. Derno, this year I've learned that being an artist means much more than just putting pencil to paper. It's more like exploring, which is something that I've always wanted to do, but couldn't before we started studying contemporary art. Exploring techniques, one's capabilities, humanity, nature, and the universe is extremely important to me now. Exploring also goes hand in hand with challenging oneself and challenging surrounding world, and in turn affecting that world too.